guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Late Rila Reacts on O2N. Today we're taking a little bit of a spin and we're not going to be covering any K-pop today. But stick around if you want to know what it's about. So this week in Toronto, somebody's been making some major headlines and major waves in regards to concerts. So as you guys may or may not know, if you're a Swiftie, you would definitely know, Taylor Swift has announced 6 concert dates in Toronto for her Eras Tour next year in November in Toronto. All 6 dates in Toronto at the Rogers Centre. Now, making headlines because, first of all, it's cutthroat to get a ticket to her concert. And the whole process is just very, very stressful. So, that's kind of what everyone's talking about. Last weekend, somebody else also made waves in terms of concerts. And it's not anyone from the western side of the hemisphere. So, Tfboys is a 3-member Chinese group from mainland that debuted in 2013. 2013, which means that the weekend and that 2023 just marked their 10th anniversary. Now, why is this such a big deal? So, in mainland China, boy group, girl groups have a very hard time, to be honest. And that's because they don't have the same sort of opportunities and platforms like they do in Korea, like your Music Bank, M Countdown, and other, scheduled variety shows like that. Also, China is very big, and a lot of the bigger cities and provinces, some labels will choose to home base in different cities. And so same thing with broadcasting stations. Some of them are home based in different cities. And so it's harder to actually promote like music shows typically in China. And in 2013, Tfboys debuted and it was a big thing. Everybody loved them. They were like the nation's little brothers kind of thing, kind of like that. And this year actually marked their 10th anniversary. So it's a big deal for their fans, which is called 四叶草. Also directly translate to 4-leaf clover. It's a big deal because they kind of planted this seed from debut. So from debut, not too long on Weibo, which is like the Twitter of China, they had said, all your love and support is so that the me from 10 years from now is going to be able to do better things and be a better person and stuff. So they planted this seed from 10 years ago, which also planted like a lot of hopes and stuff in that for their fans to be like 10 years later, they're going to be able to see the group again. Shortly after that, the group, started venturing into different things. The individual people from the group started creating their own labels. So each member, there's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. And the members are Carrie Wang. So Wang Junkai, there's Roy Wang, which is Wang Yuan, and then there's the Mangne, which is Jackson Yi Yang Qianxi. And so a couple of years sort of into their contract, they started establishing their own companies, their own labels to manage different activities outside from the music activities, which their home label was managing at the time. And sooner that contract also ended with their home label as well. Their home label is actually called TF Entertainment, and I don't know if it changed English names down the line, but in Chinese the same label is called 时代峰峻. And so we'll talk more about the label later on after, but what I want to do today is do a reaction video, and actually it's less a reaction but more of a review and talk about Tfboys. And we're gonna actually look at one song, like their biggest hit song, from the concert on Sunday, and then back to the OG MV at the end. And we'll talk a lot about their concert and why it was a big deal. So first and foremost, let's go check out this song from the concert. So the entire concert was actually like 3 hours long, and it took place in Xi'an, China, at the Xi'an Olympic Stadium. It, I think, was seated around 30,000 fans at the stadium, and what had originally happened was I think around 400,000 fans actually signed up for like a pre-sale, or at least signed up for the sale. So somebody worked out like a ticket ratio. It was like 200 something to 1. Anyways, very similar to what Swifties were pretty much facing as well. So yeah. The concert also racked in a ton of views and a ton of money for Youku platform, which was the streaming platform that people could sign up to watch the concert as well on Sunday. It was like, I think it ranged in terms of like how obviously HD you wanted to see the concert, and other sort of extras I think that came with the streaming as well, maybe some behind the scenes and stuff. But I heard even through the streaming platform there was different price ranges as well, so that's very, very interesting. We'll also talk more about prices and like all of that fun stuff about the concert later on. The first performance, luckily, is the song that I really wanted to go through with you guys, which is 青春修炼手册, which translates to youth practice book. Not the best translation, but that was their opening song, and I think perfect for all fans. It just brings you back to that nostalgia. So let's go. Huge, absolutely huge. That's a really cool logo, not gonna lie. So, for those of you who don't know the members, our friend here with the blue hair is Carrie Wang, Jin Kai, and then to his left, well, our left, would be Roy, and then to the right, that we'll see is Jackson. Somebody asked if this dance to them was like muscle memory. I think to some extent.
经常会想，长大多好，有些事情却只能想象。想说就说，想走就做，为了明天给自己鼓掌。这世界有太阳，因为自信才能把我照亮。这舞台的重量。有我才闪亮，有我才能发着光。跟着我左手右手一个慢动作，右手左手慢动作重播。这首歌给你快乐，你有没有爱上我？跟着我鼻子眼睛动一动耳朵，装乖耍帅换不停风格。青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼算什么 ？Yeah， 向明天对不起，向前冲不客气，一路有你，充满斗志，无限动力。男子汉没有什么输不起，正太修炼成功的秘籍。跟着我左手右手一个
I can imagine those of you who don't know Tfboys are looking at this like, how old are these guys?
快乐，你有没有爱上我？跟着我鼻子眼睛动一动耳朵，装乖耍帅换不停风格。青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼
And yes, this is the 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary. All right. Okay. Like I said, the whole thing is like 3 hours long. So we're not going to be watching the entire thing. It took me 2 intermissions to watch this entire concert. So we are not going to be watching the whole thing. But yeah, let us get back to some chit chat. The whole thing is super long, but if you're into it, like, you know, wanting to explore, cool place to start is to check out Tfboys. But we're going to talk a little bit more about Tfboys, and I wrote down some talking notes because I didn't want to get too off topic. But let's start with talking about basically the concert. And I told you guys at the beginning that this concert was sort of, the seed was planted 10 years ago through a post on Weibo about, you know, your support for us today is what it's going to make for 10 years later and stuff like that. And so that's kind of how the concert came to be. And annually, from when they debuted, Tfboys had a concert annually. The 6th annual concert for Tfboys, very interestingly enough, does have a K-pop little spin, because Eunhyuk from Super Junior was actually the stage director and the whole sort of event director for Tfboys' 6th annual concert. And so that was really, really cool for them to get that kind of overseas, you know, kind of work with another team, and literally like the Korean team and the mainland team just working together for something like that. It was actually really, really cool. And Eunhyuk himself said, you know, it was such a pleasure to work with the boys of Tfboys as well. So a little spin. And then they didn't have a 8th annual or a 9th annual concert because of the pandemic and stuff like that. And so this is kind of why more, you know, excitement and why fans were looking forward to this 10th annual concert so much more. And along with that was because of the fear that it wasn't going to happen based on how relationships are right now with the company that, you know, created Tfboys, so TF Entertainment, and also the boys themselves. And then also just all of them, you know, at very different segments of the career in the last few years, seem to avoid like a lot of, you know, contact. And that kind of leads into sort of one of the other things that I wanted to talk about this concert, and ones that I'll throw some clips in for you guys to see. But it looked as if they were not that close. There was no, like, you know, arms over their shoulders. There was no, you know, back hugs. There was very, very little skinship in this concert. Something that, you know, when I go to other, or at least seen other concerts, it's not like that, you know, especially with groups, because you guys are, it's meant to be so close, right? And this could be just how the relationship is amongst them. That I can't really, you know, allude to or, you know, provide any comments on, because I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. But it looked definitely kind of weird to me that you guys are a group. You guys are here for a very, very important event, you know, your 10th anniversary concert together, yet you don't even look that close. It was very, very, like, really, really, like, troubling to me. I was kind of confused, to be honest with you. But yeah, another cool and kind of weird part too at the same time is this concert had a host. So most concerts, if not all concerts that I've been to, you know, the main person or the group that's holding the concert does their own sort of host segments, right? So they're all like, hey, welcome, you know, Toronto, what's up? Sometimes is a translator, but that's the most. This one had a full-on MC, which did an amazing job. She did an amazing job. She was dressed amazing as well. But it really gave me the vibes of like the spring gala that they usually have on the mainland, like main broadcasting channel, because that's how she was speaking. It was like the very... So if you guys don't watch Spring Gala, it's hard to explain, but all the MCs, the way they talk and what they say is all obviously written down on cue cards, but written down very poetic. So it's not natural like how we would talk, you know, every day. And it's also not very trying to get your energy. It's just trying to be poetic.
更多的惊喜带给大家。10年不过是一首歌的时间，不知道今天晚上哪一首歌唱出了你的心声呢？花开富贵，锦绣中华。今夜我们都是看花的人。
And so I always try to skip over the MC parts in Spring Gala because I find it so cringe and it's so weird that it's like you're trying to MC a really cool event. It's very important and it's about having fun. It's New Year's, but you're like poetic. I'm not here to learn. So that was kind of that also sprung out to me as well within this concert as well. The MC, I thought it was really, really interesting to see for myself for the first time. Now, I wanted to jump from this to something a little bit more. It's been on like all the news headlines. So actually, the night of this concert, Tfboys was, you know, trending on Weibo for 10 different, you know, subjects. And they swiped the entire Weibo trending chart, and one of them being these light signs. So I'm gonna throw in some clips and show you guys, but the entire stadium looked like it was Christmas with all the different lights. So you guys know in K-pop that, you know, a lot of groups have signature colors. So SJ is like blue, SNSD is pink, purple for BTS, and so it's no different for Tfboys. They also have a group color, which is orange. But something a little different with this group is that, versus what we're used to in K-pop, every member also has a signature color too. So we know that in, you know, K-pop, a lot of members have, you know, signature emojis that they'll use to represent themselves, usually like an animal. So like, for example, Jongho, you would use like a teddy bear, right? But in Tfboys, every member actually has a signature color, and within the concert as well, they utilize those colors in their solo stages. So when each member came out to do their solo piece, they were either wearing the color or the color was on the LED at the back. It was all implemented into that. And so it's not something that the fans made up. It's something that the company pushed out there. And it kind of creates like this kind of fan war within, the group, because different things, obviously people have different biases, but there is a little level of negativity around the competition between the fans of the members, because they think obviously their bias is the best. And so even days leading up to this concert, there were thousands upon thousands of fans already lined up outside, in herds, doing their thing, like cheering, rallying. It almost was like, it was pretty intense that people within Xi'an were kind of worried about, their safety, and worried about the safety of the people as well, blocking traffic or anything like that. And so individually on the 3 members' Weibo, same sort of notice was put out to everyone, advising that please not gather in large groups, please refrain from, making too much noise and all this stuff. And also please refrain from bringing any of the light signs into the concert. They will be forbidden. So that's what the notice says. But all these fans have a way around something. That if there's a will, there's a way kind of thing. That's kind of what happened. And so there were tons of fans, and how they got these light signs in were beyond creative in my mind. You could wear a skirt, you could even wear wide-legged pants, and what you would do is, the signs are super flexible. You could fold them up like a cardboard sheet of paper and tape them around your leg. And obviously you need the batteries, so girls and fans were hiding batteries in like their ponytail and their buns, and some of them had shoes on that had like sort of little gaps, and they could hide batteries in there as well. All because they think that their color for their idol, for their bias, is the most important. And so there was actually online battles, and you could see different people, different parts of the fandom trying to claim different sections in the concert. So especially the sections that were not your 100, not your floor, but like your 200 or 300, where you could actually hang them off the section balcony sort of thing. Those were like hot spots. And so fans were, organized fans were like, we have to claim sections blah 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 blah, and this section, so that when they hang the sign, it would be consistent. And some fans went as far as, we took over, we made it, we did it, because some people were posting like their light ocean, and somebody was actually caught photoshopping other fan light colors to be just one color. So it's pretty hilarious, but it's actually very, very cutthroat. Like the way I was seeing things, some of them were even fighting outside the stadium as well. But all to say, very, very serious. There's also even memes like of the fans. So not only do they have colors, but and these light signs, they even have flags. So it looked like an ocean of the army during the Qing dynasty. With the flags. Somebody was like, they created a meme. They're like, I haven't seen this since the Qing dynasty wars. And so it was really, really funny to see that. But hey, yo, stay safe. It's honestly not worth it. But some of the viewers had some comments to complain, saying like, these lights are so distracting, it's too much, blah blah blah. Everyone for themselves type deal. Some people don't mind. I didn't really mind for it. I just thought it was crazy the lengths that they went to actually get these into the concert. So I thought that was crazy. Kudos to those fans and their dedication. The highlight for a lot of people during the concert had to have been the cake. So the company actually prepared one of the tallest cakes that I have ever seen. I don't even think there's actually any cake in there. Like, I don't think any layer of that cake was cake, and it was just more stacked to look like a cake. And so what happened was, towards the end, they pushed this cake out, and from when they were pushing, you could already tell that it was it's just not going right.
今天晚上呢，我们的仪式环节要邀请我们在场所有的朋友们共同参与。那蜡烛呢，非常的特别，就在你们每一个人的手中。
Like the top half is just, and so they called it out, and then all the members sort of went to help and bring the cake out. And so the MC had this thing as per their agenda. It was all the fans would turn on like the light from their phone, and then at 3, 2, 1 to make a wish, they would turn it off. It looked like, blowing out candles. But as she's like kind of getting all the fans ready to do that, the cake topples over. And it's kind of, there's two things that kind of came out of this that, fans are sort of happy about. One is that the cake toppling actually made for what was the most natural interaction between the boys on stage and the most natural reaction, because everything else when they were giving their time to speak and stuff like that, or being asked question, just looked very, very like scripted. And so with the cake topple and that not obviously being scripted, what came out of it was one of the biggest and most natural reactions from the boys on stage. And then aside from that, fans were saying that the cake topple is actually prefacing the company itself, the label, and that it's soon going to topple as well. TF Entertainment, please don't come after me. This is what the internet is saying, okay? Because of pretty much like this sort of contract jail that their idols have been put in from when they were little, most fans were more than happy to know that their idol was actually leaving TF Entertainment, or that, they would be doing all this solo stuff, not organized by the company. So they definitely don't like this label, like a lot of K-pop. Their fans think their idols can do better than the label, and some do, and then some are like, when they were with the label, it was like the highlight of their career. So it can go both ways, to be honest with you, and it really depends, I think. And I encourage you guys as viewers as well to go look up some of the individual things that these boys are doing in their careers as well. Jackson Yee's acting career is really flourished. He's taken off on that. Carrie also has multiple, acting pieces under his belt as well, and he's really working towards that. Roy's, solo music stuff as well. So individually, they've got tons of brand endorsements. They have a ton of individual things like movies, filmography, discography as well. So to be frank, they are really doing well in their independent things, but at the same time, this group stuff just is so nostalgic to fans that they don't want it to end. They want there to be 11 year, 12 year, 20 year. And because also they, with a 10 year and at the age of when they debuted, it looks and it feels as if, you really did watch them grow up. So to continue that would be very meaningful to everyone, and the fans as well. And yeah, like jumping back, so 10-year anniversary for those who don't know, Tfboys, and in here looking super young, right, at this 10-year concert. And that's because they debuted in 2013, And in 2013, the boys were only 12 and 13 years old. So that is why, you know, even 10 years now, fast forward, these guys are not in their 30s just yet. But yeah, that's kind of like what I really want to cover from the concert. And, you know, the future of Tfboys is a little bit wishy-washy and unknown at the moment. Nobody knows for certain just yet if there will be a 11-year, 12-year concert, despite, you know, some of the members no longer with the label. So it's kind of all up in the air right now. But fans, I think most fans would still love to see an annual concert with the three of them. I personally would love to see them continue to do something together. You know, once a year is great. I think that's more than what we can ask for, really. And individually, I hope the three of them, you know, continue to flourish in whatever they're doing and any projects that they're working on. It's hard. It's interesting because it's just so, you know, in the air for these three. Whereas right now, you know, back in K-pop world, a lot of our second gen or second, third gen groups are basking in like 10th anniversaries and stuff like that. And they're getting together and they're like also giving you that very nostalgic feeling, but not that worrisome feeling that comes with the Tfboys right now. So it's kind of, you know, different on that side. But hopefully we hope for the best all the time. Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to try to end on like a happy note. So we're going to go and we're actually going to check out the original MV for the same song, which actually came out in 2014. So it came out in the second year of Tfboys' you know, active promotional period. And also, if you guys are like wanting to check out more mainland China groups, you guys can also check out the brother group to Tfboys, which is TNT. So TF Entertainment actually consistently is also signing up and enrolling new trainees and new guys into the label as they create different generations. And so Tfboys is the OG first generation of TF Entertainment, and then there are second, third, and fourth gen. I don't believe the third or fourth gen have debuted yet, but I do know that second gen is out there. They're flourishing. TNT, 时代少年团, so they are also kind of dabbling in a different parts as well in entertainment, not just music. They're doing variety, they're doing some acting as well, and then yeah, just like all of this other stuff as well. So you guys can check them out as well. And, you know, if there's third gen, fourth gen coming on the way and you guys are interested, and you guys want me to talk about it, feel free to leave a comment and just, you know, let us know that you're interested. I think that's the most important part. If you're interested, I will look into it and we can talk about it. Okay? All right. Let's go back. Let's go back in time. Oh my God. It took me some time to actually navigate to find the official YouTube channel for Tfboys, and I don't know why that is, but it could be just YouTube and China, not the best of friends. But it does say that this was from 6 years ago. However, I didn't believe it, so I did look it up on Google to make sure, and the song is from 2014, so not exactly accurate. But I think this is because this MV is actually in 1080p, so it might be like a re-release, remastered version of the music video. Okay, let's get it. when I press play and you guys see this, you'll understand why they look so young at their 10th anniversary. Yeah, look how HD this looks.
跟着我左手右手一个慢动作，右手左手慢动作重播。哦，这首歌给你快乐，你有没有爱上我？跟着我鼻子眼睛动一动耳朵， 装乖耍帅换不停风格，青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼算什么
Look who the teacher
One, two, three, go!
Oh, so cute.
皮鞋擦亮，换上西装，佩戴上1克拉的梦想。我的勇敢充满电量，昂首到达每一个地方。这世界的太阳，因为自信才能把我照亮。这舞台的中央，有我才闪亮。有我才能发着光，跟着我左手右手一个慢动作，右手左手慢动作重播。这首歌给你快乐，你有没有爱上我？跟着我闭眼睛动一动耳朵，装乖耍帅换不停风格，青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼算什么
Oh my god. This was also one of the things that I noticed as well. Like, they weren't smiling a whole lot during the concert.
长大多好，有些
There's a lot of
事情
theories
却只
behind
能
that.
想象，想说就说，想做就做，为了明天的自己鼓掌。这世界
So
的
cute.
太阳，因为自信才能把我照亮。这舞台的中央，有我才闪亮，有我才能发着光。跟着我左手右手一个慢动作，右手左手慢动作重播。这首歌给你快乐，你有没有爱上我？跟着我闭眼睛动一动耳朵，装乖耍帅换不停风格，青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼算什么？向明天对不起，向前程不客气，一路有你，这么斗志无限动力。男子汉没有什么输不起，正在修炼成功的秘籍。跟着我左手右手一个慢动作，右手左手慢动作重播。这首歌给你快乐，你有没有爱上我？
So that's why people go to school with music videos.
耍帅换不停风格，青春有太多未知的猜测，成长的烦恼算什么 ？Hey, Tfboys.
Our friend in the Li Xiaolong costume is doing the most. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love. Do you guys see comments from like a day ago, 5 days ago? 好怀念10年了 Tfboys 10年快乐 Happy 10th anniversary. Can't believe it's 6 years since I heard the song Forever. Love Tfboys. Yeah. It's very nostalgic for a lot of fans that have been with them since then. And just can't get enough. If you guys go back and kind of watch some of their OG Tfboys stuff, you're going to feel like you've aged, to be honest with you. It's a little bit like kind of why the Dreamies is like my favorite NCT subunit. It's because it's got that watch them grow up type vibes. So it has that kind of same idea as well. And you know what? If it's your cup of tea, it's your cup of tea. If it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. But like, if you are biased for, you know, if you're biased for one member, that's okay too. Just why you gotta, don't hate on the other ones. They didn't do anything, okay? They didn't do anything wrong. And so good luck to Tfboys in the future. Hopefully there's more to come. If there isn't, I think this 10th anniversary concert is also a great way to mark the end of, you know, a chapter in your life and in your career as well. Okay, I'm on a roll. It's like almost 11 and I still have some energy, so I might go do something else as well for the channel. And so stick around for more. And yeah, all right, see you guys.